All right, before we jump in, just a quick but really important reminder. Everything we're about to discuss is for educational purposes only. You should always do your own research before making any investment decisions. Welcome. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating corner of the investment world, commodity ETFs. We're going to break down what they are, how you can actually invest in them, and some of the key differences for investors on both sides of the border, in Canada and the U.S. So, have you ever thought about investing in something tangible, something real, like gold or oil? And then, did your mind immediately jump to the hilarious image of trying to stash a giant barrel of crude oil in your garage? Yeah, it's a bit of a logistical nightmare, right? Well, that's exactly the problem we're going to solve today. So, let's kick things off with the big question. What is a commodity ETF, anyway? Okay, so think of it this way. It's an investment fund that you can buy and sell on a stock exchange, just like you would a share of Apple or something. But here's the cool part. Instead of owning a tiny piece of a company, you're tracking the price of a raw material. We're talking gold, oil, or even a whole mix of things like corn and soybeans. Okay, so why should you even care about these? Well, the benefits are actually pretty compelling. For starters, they're a fantastic way to diversify your portfolio if you're already heavy on stocks and bonds. They can also act as a hedge against inflation, which is a big deal, right? And maybe the best part for most of us. You get easy access to these markets without having to rent a vault for your gold bars. No storage headaches. All right, so now we get what they are and why they're useful, but what's next? How do you actually go out and buy one? This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It might sound complicated, but I promise you, the process is surprisingly simple. If you've ever bought a stock before, you're already halfway there. It really just boils down to these 4 steps. First up, you've got to open a brokerage account. There are tons of great platforms out there, whether you're in Canada or the U.S. Step 2, you move some money into it from your bank. Easy enough. Third, and this is the fun part, you do a little research using the platform's tools to find an ETF that fits your goals. And finally, you find it by its ticker symbol, that little 3 or 4-letter code, and you hit buy. That's literally it. Okay, now for a really, really important part of this whole thing, especially for our audience here. Let's get into the nitty-gritty, the key differences when you're buying these ETFs in Canada versus the United States. So what are the biggest differences? This is a super important question because, you could have 2 different ETFs tracking the exact same thing, like gold, but where it's listed can have a huge impact on your bottom line. We're talking about things like currency swings, fees, and of course taxes. And this table really lays out the core trade-offs perfectly. Look, the U.S. market is absolutely massive, right? So the competition is fierce, which usually means lower fees. That's a huge plus. But for Canadian investors, there are some really compelling reasons to stick closer to home. With Canadian-listed ETFs, you'll often find currency-hedged versions, which is a big deal if you're worried about the U.S. dollar's ups and downs. Plus, the tax situation is just so much simpler and better inside a registered account, like a TFSA or an RRSP. So it really boils down to this. Are you prioritizing lower fees, or are tax benefits and currency protection more important to you? But wait, there's more to it than that. It's not just about where the ETF is listed. We need to look under the hood and figure out how it's actually tracking the commodity. This is the big difference between what we call physical and synthetic ETFs. A physical ETF, which you see all the time with precious metals, literally buys and stores the commodity. We're talking actual gold bars sitting in a high-security vault somewhere. Super straightforward. But for stuff like oil or natural gas, yeah, that's just not going to work. So for those, you have synthetic ETFs. They use clever financial tools like futures contracts, which are just agreements to buy or sell something at a future date, to mirror the commodity's price without ever touching a physical barrel. It's a really important distinction to get your head around. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. We've talked about the what, the how, the which, and the big things to watch out for. So now, let's pull it all together and think about what this actually means for you. So what are the big takeaways here? 1, commodity ETFs give you incredibly easy access to raw materials. 2, the buying process is simple. If you can buy a stock, you can buy one of these. 3, when you're choosing between the US and Canada, you're basically making a trade-off. Lower fees in the US versus some nice tax and currency hedging perks in Canada. And finally, number 4, always know if you're buying a physical ETF that holds the asset or a synthetic one that uses futures. And that brings us to the final and, honestly, the most important question of all. And this is one that only you can answer.
Now that you get the trade-offs, what matters most for your portfolio? Is it dodging currency risk? Is it being as tax efficient as possible? Or is it all about squeezing out the lowest possible management fees? Really thinking that through, well, that's your next move.